Senator Rubio joins Fox News Live right now. He is the vice chair of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence and member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Senator Rubio, thank you for being here. And if you would start by telling us more about your push to rescind visas for supporters of Hamas terrorists. And can you tell us the moment you came to this decision?
Well, first of all, it's the existing law of the country, right? Our laws basically say that you are inadmissible under a visa, student visa, to be a teacher here, to be a tourist, whatever, if you are a supporter of a designated terrorist group. And then this week, we see people marching at universities and in the streets of our country and so forth, calling for intifada, celebrating what Hamas has done, justifying what Hamas has done. These are supporters of Hamas. Those people who are here, okay, on a visa to be a student, to be a professor, whatever, those people need to go. They should never have been allowed in. We probably didn't know that about them. No one's going to tell you I'm a Hamas supporter on the way in. But once we know you are, our laws say you shouldn't have a visa and you need to go. And so why you think Europe is dealing with this right now? The UK has made this call and others as well. We should not have people inside of our country who are here as visitors, foreign nationals, who then come out, take to the streets and call for supporting this terrorist organization that just butchered babies, slaughtered innocents, and took hostages, including Americans, and into Gaza.
It's disgusting for sure. Senator, yesterday's protests, we saw them around the country. They were part of the International Day of Action for Palestine. And I want to ask you, what do you say to anyone who would suggest that you're attacking or slighting innocent Palestinian civilians?
Well, this has nothing to do with innocent Palestinian civilians. They're not on the street talking about that. They are in the street. Okay, there was this massacre carried out by these terrorists. That's what these people took to the streets to support. What else are they? Why weren't they marching 2 weeks ago? Why weren't we seeing these marches 3 weeks ago? These marches were the direct result of, A, trying to justify what Hamas did as what Israel deserves, basically. That's what they're arguing. And B, in direct response to a call from Hamas. It is Hamas who said, come out on Friday all over the world and demonstrate. So they are responding directly to Hamas. Why do you think they cover their faces? Why do you think so many of these people won't give journalists their last names? Why do you think they wear those masks and wraps around their face? Because they don't want people to know who they are, because they know exactly what they're calling for. And in many cases, they broadcast it in the flyers they put out, where it has these paraglider images on it, almost mocking what happened, knowing that those paragliders are the ones that went into that rave concert and killed, just wiped out as many people as they could get their hands on.
Absolutely. Despicable. Senator, you plan also to pursue legislation that withholds federal funding from colleges, universities that allow pro-Palestine protest demonstrations and other activities that could be seen to endorse or espouse terrorist activity, or persuade others to endorse or espouse terrorist activity or support a terror organization. I wanted to ask you, have you spoken with President Biden about this? Do you plan to get on his itinerary? And do you think you'll ultimately have his support?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to have his support on it. I haven't had a chance to speak to the White House about it, although we've reached out to them, obviously, in the letter that we've sent. And we're still working on that legislation. Look, in this country, there is a First Amendment. People have a right to say if they want to go out there and argue for a two-state solution, I'll be more than prepared to argue why I think that's unrealistic right now and for the foreseeable future and so forth. That is different from chanting things like from the river to the sea. You know what the river to the sea means? People, when they hear that chant, it basically means they want all of what is Israel today. They want every Jew out of there, and they want to create a fundamentalist Islamic country named Palestine and drive every Jew out of the region. That is what that means. And we know that's what that means, and they admit it. And so I think that you're inciting violence. You are going out there and basically arguing on behalf of a terrorist organization. You do not have a First Amendment right to argue on behalf of a terrorist organization in this country, one that not only has committed violence, but has pledged to commit even more violence in the future until every Jew is out of the region. There is no First Amendment right to that, and we most certainly should not be subsidizing it with federal taxpayer dollars that are paying for the student aid so that all these wackos can go to school, be further indoctrinated, and then take to the streets calling for intifada and the murder of Jews. Why are we paying for this?
Make some strong arguments, Senator Marco Rubio. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.